So the king confirmed it as an ambassador because of the threat of the Babylonian children and the tyrannical demons of the labyrinth. But for my part, I gave a start when I perceived its voice, and I took it up and kissed it, and I read. But what was written there concerned that which was engraved on my heart, and on the spot I remembered that I was a child of kings, and that my people demanded my freedom. I also remembered the pearl for which I had been sent on the mission to Egypt, and the fact that I had been coming against the fearsome dragon for booty. And I subdued it by calling out my father's name. And I snatched the pearl and turned to carry it away to my parents, and I took off the dirty clothing and left it behind in their land. Immediately I went straight to the road leading to the light of our eastern home. And while on the road, I found a female being who lifted me up. So she got me up from sleep, giving as it were an oracle by her voice, with which she guided me to the light. Indeed, at times I had the royal garment of silk before my eyes, and with familial love leading me and drawing me on, I passed by the labyrinth, and leaving Babylon behind on the left, I reached Mason, which is a great coast. But I could not recall my splendor, for it was while I was still a boy and quite young that I had left it behind in my father's palace. But when suddenly I saw my garment reflected as in a mirror, I perceived in it my whole self as well, and through it I recognized and saw myself. For though we derived from one and the same, we were partially divided, and then again we were one, with a single form. Nay, also the treasurers who had brought the garment I saw as two beings, but there existed a single form in both, one single royal token consisting of two halves. And they had my money and wealth in their hands, and gave me my reward, the fine garment of bright colors, which was embroidered with gold, precious stones, and pearls to give a suitable impression. It was clasped at the collar, and the image of the King of Kings was woven all through it. Stones of lapis lazuli had been agreeably fixed to the collar, and I saw in turn that impulses of gnosis were rippling throughout it, and that it was ready to utter discourse. Then I heard it speaking. It is I who belong to the one who is stronger than all human beings, and for whose sake I was designed by the Father himself. And for my part, I took note of my mature age, and all the royal impulses reposed on me as its energy increased. Thrust out by that being's hand, it hastened to the one who was receiving it, and a longing aroused me to rush and meet that being and to receive it. And I stretched forth and took it. With the beauty of its colors I adorned myself, and I completely clothed myself in my superior royal robe.